I want us to watch a video carefully. This is the president of Ghana, John Mahama, talking about what is happening in Gaza. Watch.
We must even learn from the lessons of history. I mean, we talk about the Holocaust today, we still talk about it because never again should it happen that millions of people are put in railway trucks and sent into gas chambers and gas to them. That was horror, you know. But we can't forget it. If we forget and we don't acknowledge what happened and all pledge that we will work to not make it happen again, it could happen again.
But isn't it happening again, Mr. President?
I mean,
when you look at what's going on in Palestine,
you look at Gaza, you look at the West Bank.
what would you call it?
It's what it is. I said
Is it a genocide?
I said it works like a duck, it looks like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a genocide.
Of course. Because, I mean, look at the number of people who have been killed. Of course, we condemn what Hamas did, killing 1,300 Israelis. But the toll on the other side, 65,000 women and children have been killed since October, that October strike. And even today in the West Bank, I mean, settlers are hounding Palestinians of their land, and they go create the problem with families that have been settled on that land for many years. And then they go and tell the Israeli authorities that the Palestinians are, attacking them, and the IDF, Israeli Defense Force, comes without asking any questions, joins the settlers to brutalize the Palestinians,
You talk about the need to reform the global system. International justice is a key part of it, isn't it?
Exactly.
Does this demonstrate the double standards that we see today? When you compare the situation in Ukraine and the situation in Gaza, can we ever talk about justice anymore?
It's not the first time. It's been with us. I mean, look at the fight against apartheid. Until the ANC and the freedom fighters of South Africa, together with the frontline states, put a lot of pressure on South Africa to eventually let go of apartheid. Some of their greatest backers and allies were the Western nations. And so that hypocrisy has been with us. Different lenses are used to look at different situations. And the point is, as long as we continue to distort justice, depending on who it is, we will continue to live a lie.
There you have it. A sitting African president is calling what is happening in Gaza genocide. And I agree with him. I condemn what Israel has done in Gaza as genocide. I've watched people spend years searching for softer words to describe the killing, destruction, displacement, and suffering of Palestinians. And honestly, I don't understand why so many people are still afraid to call it what they see. We have watched Palestinian women and children being killed. We have watched families being displaced. We have watched Gaza being destroyed. We have watched people struggle to get food, water, and basic necessities. And somehow, some people still want us to find a softer word. Why? Why are some people so emotionally attached to Israel that they cannot condemn the killing of Palestinian civilians? When I say Palestinian children pulled from destroyed homes, families displaced again and again, communities reduced to rubble, and civilians deprived from the basic condition necessary to live. I am not going to sanitize what I am seeing because criticizing Israel makes somebody uncomfortable. And apparently, President Mahama isn't prepared to sanitize it either. In fact, Mahama has said something else that I believe is extremely important. When we distort justice depending on who is involved, we are living a lie. Whenever you mention Palestinian civilians and immediately somebody shouts, October 7, why does every conversation immediately becomes about October 7? Yes, October 7 happened, and I condemn that. But October 7 did not suddenly create the Palestinian question. The Palestinian people did not wake up on October 7, 2023, and suddenly became refugees. The Nakba happened in 1948. Did you hear about it? Of course you did. You just chose to miss that. Palestinians were displaced during the Nakba catastrophe in 1948. Israel has occupied the West Bank since 1967. Israel's settlements have continued expanding on territory regarded by the international community as occupied Palestine. And that is what Hamas is fighting for. Hamas was created to defend their lands, not to terrorize. But unfortunately, we live in a society where you are called terrorist because you are simply resisting an invasion. So please don't tell me this entire story started one morning in October. It didn't. Don't rewrite history as if everything began on October 7, 2023. And this is where I personally draw my line. I will never support the killing of innocent Palestinians simply because Hamas exists. If Israel wants Hamas, go get Hamas. Go after Hamas. But Palestinian children are not Hamas. Palestinian mothers are not Hamas. Palestinian fathers and farmers are not Hamas. Palestinian families are not Hamas. And destroying the entire population's home and livelihood cannot simply be justified by saying we are fighting terrorism. And then we have the issue of land. Look at what is happening in the West Bank. Israeli settlements continue to expand. Palestinians are being displaced. Palestinian farmers are being attacked. Land is being taken. And sometimes we see Israeli soldiers standing there while settlers attack Palestinians. How am I supposed to look at that and pretend there is no problem? Then listen to Netanyahu himself.
עכשיו, ואתם מכינים את הקרקע לעלייה גדולה מאוד שתבוא. עכשיו, אי אפשר להתעלם מהמספרים. אהבתי. 104 יישובים, 104 יישובים שהקמנו והסדרנו ביחד, ו-160 חוות. ועוד היד נטויה. מאמץ אדיר של הממשלה לממש את חזון הדורות.
Those are not my words. Those are not Hamas words. This is Israel's own prime minister talking about the land of Israel, celebrating settlements and talking about bringing more Jewish people into those communities. So when Palestinians say they are taking our land, I'm not going to automatically dismiss them. And when evidence shows Palestinian dispossession and settlement expansion, I will call it land grabbing, while you call it propaganda, because you are as evil as the evil Israel is committing in Palestine. I don't believe a sitting president who stands in front of the United Nations General Assembly is also watching propaganda to arrive at his conclusion. I don't need to hate Israel to say that. I need conscience to say that. And when I see settlement expansion, displacement, and territorial control, I will call it what I believe it is, land grabbing. And when I look at what is happening in Gaza, I will call it what I believe it is, genocide. Now, somebody may say, you hate Israel. No, I don't hate Israel. I don't hate Jewish people. I am a Christian. I grew up reading the Bible and learning about Israel. But my Christianity does not require me to support everything the government of Israel does. No. I can respect Jewish people and still condemn the Israeli government. I can condemn Hamas and still defend Palestinians. I can condemn terrorism and still reject Islamophobia. And I can say that Muslim people are not terrorists simply because some terrorists happen to be Muslim. These are two different things. In fact, I find it deeply disturbing when people celebrate the killing of Muslims simply because they are Muslims. That is not Christianity. That is not humanity. That is hatred. And I will not participate in it. Or do you want us to talk about the atrocities Christians committed many years ago and called it the Crusade? If an Israeli child is killed, I will condemn it. If a Palestinian child is killed, I will condemn it. But I will not allow the suffering of Palestinian children to become invincible simply because the people responsible claim they are fighting terrorism. They are not. Children are children. Women are women. Human beings are human beings. And if we only care when the victim looks like us, believes like us, or belong to one side or our side, then we have already lost our humanity. So yes, I condemn Israel's action in Gaza. I condemn the destruction. I condemn the killing of civilians. I condemn the displacement of Palestinians. I condemn the settlement, expansion, and seizure of Palestinian lands. And I condemn what I believe is genocide in Gaza. And I will continue to say it. I will continue to add my voice to millions of other voices until it stops. You don't have to agree with me, but you will not silence me by calling me Israel hater, an extremist, or a terrorist. I am simply refusing to look away. In fact, my voice has become louder. There is something deeply disturbing about history repeating itself, just like President Mahama mentioned. South Africans know what apartheid feels like. They know what radical segregation, dispossession, and state oppression looks like. And yet today, we see South Africans attacking African migrants because they are foreigners. That's the ugly cycle of human history. Sometimes people who have suffered oppression can still participate in oppression themselves. The Jewish people suffered one of the most horrific genocide in human history under Nazi Germany. They are now doing the same thing to Palestinians. History gives us a warning. Suffering does not automatically make someone compassionate. The Holocaust should have taught humanity one fundamental lesson. Never again. Not never again for Jews, but never again for anybody. This is Global Truth. Fact today, truth always.